I think she defines respect as in like one person talking at one time, listening attentively, and how we should also respect one another. And some examples are, for example, there has been times when like a person is talking and then like there probably has been like a funny moment, but then after that funny moment, Miss Cole tries to like stop it a little bit in order for us to continue with the class and continue learning what we're doing. So I feel that that's one of the important like good skills that she has. She's able to like stop certain disrespectful probably um, examples that are going on in class in order for us to like listen attentively to one another and also to like improve our ideas based on what the other person is saying and not just like goof off during class.
I've tried to really emphasize that it's okay to make mistakes in my class and that we'll help each other learn from those mistakes. And I think that this has helped contribute to a positive culture in my class of students being able to ask each other for help and know that their classmates will help them in a respectful manner and won't, say anything negative like, oh, you're dumb because you don't get this, or you're stupid because this is wrong. But yeah, just that basis of feeling okay being wrong, or making mistakes, I think really contributes to a respectful environment, because students know that they're going to be accepted. How have you noticed in my humanities class that I respect and value all individuals and communities?
I think that you respect like every person in the class because like you provide like the little list of people so you can pull them out so everyone has like a chance to actually communicate together and like they have a chance to like speak and have their voice out and be shared. And so like you like when we have those like seminars like in a circle, not only you encourage people to like join in, but like you encourage us like to be as a whole community together and like let others know that we also need to encourage other individuals who are not letting their voices out on that topic to get more involved.
Well, one thing I do in my class that this student is referring to is I use equity sticks to make sure that everyone's voice in the class is equally valued. And that just means that I have each student's name on a popsicle stick in a cup, and so I can choose them at random, and everyone has an equal chance of being called on. That way I make sure that I'm not favoring certain students or only allowing people to talk who are, more outgoing or more aggressive. Ideas from our class, how do you see how they can apply to your life outside of like this classroom?
I think like the first assignment that we did, like on the had to be American, or who was defined as American. I think that that was helpful because you could connect it like to other people around the world, like who is actually defined American in the community, or like you could personally connect to it because like sometimes you feel like you're being discriminated or like you're not being considered being American. So I think that's something that I enjoyed when something is connected to the world and how we could be able to like be upstanders and like make a change, and also like the topic of immigration. That's something that's really controversial and like it relates to many people's lives today.
One thing I love is when we're working on something in class and students really can see it in their lives outside of school. And I've felt this way a few times this year. Once was definitely when we were studying immigration, as this student referred to. And other times include when we read the novel Catcher in the Rye, and we were discussing this idea of phoniness, or just, lack of authenticity in people's behavior. And students really saw that in, just high school, their high school social lives. And they were really examining it and thinking about, what causes us to act superficial at times and how can we accept that behavior in a positive way and also kind of avoid that behavior when it's not
I
appropriate?
feel like I've observed several very specific ways from the start that you integrate theory and practice. The one that first comes to mind is the thoroughness and attention that you put into your lesson planning. So from the beginning, it's been very obvious that you understand the theory behind opening and a closing, and the opportunity for warming up and engaging students in the day, or hooking to yesterday, whatever the warm-up's purpose is. And then, allowing students to construct meaning in multiple ways throughout the lesson, and then the importance of a closing. And from the beginning, and then it's gotten stronger, but I've seen that you definitely understand that.
You come check in with us like individually, and you see if any of us, are clear on what we are like expected to do, and also on if we know what the assignment is talking about.
Do you feel that in my class I promote academic excellence?
Absolutely, because each one of us, well, for me, each time I ask you a question, it's like it's like a twist. Like, think about it. Is it or is it not? So like so like you make us want to go deep more into the thought. Like me, I do feel like that I have that sense of power. That if I don't feel something's right, I could just bring it up to my community and it would be changed.
Cool. What kind of things like give you that feeling of power? What kind of things allow you to have that opportunity to change things?
I guess the respect that each person gives each other, and how each person, listens to each other and gives out their opinion and gives out on how they feel and how they feel about one thing and how they should react to the other.
So one reason I chose this particular student to interview is because he is one of my resource students, and he has a pretty challenging learning disability. And so I think that, by him sharing that he does feel a sense of power in the class, and that he feels that I check in with him one-on-one to make sure he understands what's expected, I think that shows that I am advocating for all of my students to have equal access to a good education. And I definitely see an overlap with the realm of respect here also, because by creating an environment based on respect, I advocate for a socially just education, because it allows students to feel comfortable voicing their opinions. And so in this way, I feel that by creating a respectful environment, I also create a socially just environment where students do feel empowered to voice their opinions.
I really feel that you also live the theory, or integrate the theory and practice of teaching all students, particularly those with English language needs and other learning disabilities or special needs, in terms of your approach to even just the classroom vibe and demeanor, to the thoroughness of the way you consider them when planning, and even if you can't always execute all of the modifications, you circle back with them in your weekly meetings with them, or in your direct feedback with them. And so, and also I think because of your EL work, like an attention to the importance of chunking reading and being mindful of a key point and drilling down to a specific objective, circling back to content, giving them a chance to talk about things, all of those pieces of theory happen in your practice.
It's like how you say, like, there's no wrong answer to the things we say, like brainstorming or ideas we say to each other. Also has a whole class.
And so we've been working on brainstorming, and I feel like that just kind of frees students up to really get their ideas out there. And a lot of times, most of what they say during brainstorming is really, good material, and they just wouldn't have shared it otherwise because they're not confident enough. But yeah, I think the brainstorming has really freed up a lot of students to share their ideas. And so in that way, I also try to advocate for my students to just have confidence in themselves. I communicated my vision for the class.
Well, you have like posters around the room for us to keep it instilled in our minds, so we can continue to do that. And yeah.
And then in what ways do you see the vision coming in to be a reality in the class? What ways has our class demonstrated our vision?
Well, especially with college part, where we've been working on it in crew, and especially through class, and you keep encouraging us you keep encouraging us to continue achieving our dreams and what we want and what we want to strive for. And also, like, with critically thinking, like, we've been doing that with our readings and setting a purpose for ourselves before we before we read, and then we can go back and we can continue to answer that question.
So one of the posters that my student is referring to here is a poster of my class vision, which was a vision for, what we would accomplish together in the class this year, that I drafted before the first day of school. And then our first activity as a class was that I showed students my vision, and I asked them to give me feedback on it and to edit it in whatever ways they felt they wanted to, and they worked in groups. They added some of their own words to the vision. One student on the first day reading the vision gave me some grammatical feedback. He pointed out some typos. And so the final result was a collaborative effort of my students and I working together to create a class vision. And that is now up on the wall right next to the whiteboard. This is a poster of my college, so I keep that on the wall for students to be inspired. And then here you can see where I have the vision posted. And it says, in 12th grade humanities, we will engage with rigorous content that will prepare us for success in college courses. We will develop our intellectual curiosity. I heard a lot of really good keywords and reasons behind them. So I would like you guys to share out some of the ideas. So let's all hear at least one example from each table. So what was one keyword that you guys feel confident in?
We chose unarmed.
Unarmed.
Yeah. And we thought it was a keyword because it was very...
So I wanted to show this little clip of myself teaching a lesson recently because I think that it shows how much I've grown in my skills as a facilitator of my classroom and in soliciting student responses and encouraging lots of different students to participate in class. So one thing that I've started doing a lot more of is small group work. And I find that that's really helpful for all students in the class to have an opportunity to speak at some point. And then, like I did in this clip, I'll call on them by table. And that way, a student can take leadership at their table, even if they wouldn't be someone who would volunteer out of the whole class if I just asked the whole class. So this allows some students to share who might not always speak up. So with that, I think that I have improved my leadership as a facilitator, and I also have found ways to encourage more students to take on leadership in the classroom.
That's all, folks.